Picture this. It's late at night. The lights are off, or only a flickering candle glows in a small, quiet bathroom. You're there with a group of friends, faces tense but buzzing with nervous excitement. Someone dares you to say her name, Bloody Mary, 3 times while staring into the mirror. The air feels thick. Your heartbeat quickens. What if she really appears? That's the famous legend of Bloody Mary, a spooky tale that's been told in the US, the UK, and many other places for ages. But who exactly is Bloody Mary? And why do so many people claim she shows up in mirrors? Story goes that if you chant Bloody Mary enough times in front of a dark mirror, usually 3, 5, or even 13, her ghostly figure might materialize. Sometimes she's just a scary face full of blood. Other times she's said to scratch your skin, or even reach out to grab you. The bathroom setting, with its low light and mirrors, turns into a magical and frightening portal where the ordinary world feels thinner and the supernatural seems possible. But where did this all begin? There are a few women from history and folklore who might have inspired the legend. One strong candidate is Mary Tudor, better known as Queen Mary, of England, who ruled in the 1500s. She was nicknamed Bloody Mary because she brutally punished many Protestants during her reign, ordering them to be burned at the stake. Her reign was filled with fear, pain, and tragedy, including multiple miscarriages and personal losses, tragedies that may have shaped how people imagined her ghost. Another possible origin is Mary Worth, an American folklore figure said to be a witch or a cruel woman burned alive by angry townspeople. Locals whispered that if you call her name in a mirror, her haunted spirit might appear to seek revenge. The chilling image of a bloodied, angry woman appearing in reflections might come from this story too. There's also Elizabeth Bathory, a real Hungarian noblewoman from the 1600s, infamous for allegedly killing young women and bathing in their blood to keep her youth. She earned the nickname the Blood Countess, and her dark deeds could be linked to the Bloody Mary myth. No matter the true origin, the story of Bloody Mary taps into some deep fears. Mirrors themselves can be creepy. They show you an image, but also reflect a version of yourself, making them feel mysterious or magical in the right mood. For teenagers, especially girls, the story often symbolizes the scary changes of growing up, like the first time experiencing periods or feeling uncertain about one's own identity. The bathroom mirror becomes a stage where fears about blood, beauty, and change play out in a ghostly dance. The game usually goes like this: in a dark bathroom, with a single candle flickering, you repeat Bloody Mary several times while staring into the mirror, waiting for something to happen. Some say you have to flush the toilet afterward to make her disappear. Others say the spell only breaks if you say "I believe in Bloody Mary" or a secret phrase. Every version you hear adds a new twist, reflecting the local culture and imagination. Interestingly, there have been real-life moments when this legend caused actual scares. For example, in some schools, kids have dared each other to summon Bloody Mary, and terrified reactions have led to small panics or kids refusing to enter bathrooms alone. Parents and teachers often get involved when the game spirals into fear that keeps children awake or too scared to go to the bathroom at night. Some urban legends also tell of people who claim to see bloody fingerprints on the mirrors afterward, though these stories are usually part of the spooky folklore around the game. Bloody Mary has become a regular part of sleepovers, Halloween parties, and ghost story nights, everyone wanting to test their courage. She's even been featured in movies and TV shows, keeping her legend alive and growing. So next time you find yourself alone in a quiet bathroom, candle flickering, and someone dares you to call out Bloody Mary 3 times, think about this. It's not just a story about a ghost, it's a tale made from history, fear, growing up, and the power of imagination. Will she appear? Maybe, or maybe it's just your own reflection, watching back, waiting to remind you that sometimes what scares us the most is what we don't fully understand. The rain was falling hard in the narrow streets of Gifu, Japan. Shadows were long under the dim streetlights, and each footstep echoed off the wet ground. It was 1979, the year when a scary story started to spread all over Japan. the tale of Kuchisake-onna, the Slit-Mouthed Woman. But her story didn't begin then. It goes back hundreds of years, passed down from one generation to the next, long before kids held hands tightly, afraid of the dark. Long ago, during the time of samurai, there was a beautiful woman who lived in a busy town. Everyone said she was graceful and had a perfect face that people admired. But sometimes, beauty can bring trouble, especially if mixed with jealousy or betrayal. In most stories, she was married to a proud samurai, but was unfaithful or seen as a threat by others. Some say a jealous person, or even a doctor, went mad and cut her mouth from one ear to the other, leaving her with a horrible, permanent smile. She died. Some say she killed herself. Others say because of the terrible injuries. But her spirit wasn't at peace. Full of pain and anger, she came back as a ghost, an angry spirit who couldn't rest. This ghost became known as Kuchisake-onna. People say she walks around at dusk and night in Japan. She can look different, sometimes tall and thin, other times very tall, but always wearing a white dress, with long black hair covering her face. She holds something sharp like a knife or scissors. The most frightening part is her mask, often a surgical mask or a cloth, hiding her mouth. When you pass her, she steps right in front of you and asks, "Watashi kire?" which means, "Am I beautiful?" What would you say? It's a deadly question. If you say no, she might kill you immediately. If you say yes, she pulls down her mask to show her mouth, cut open from ear to ear, all bloody and scary. If you scream or try to run, she might kill you too. If you say yes again, scared but honest, she may cut your mouth to look like hers, so you live but are forever marked. Some say she might even follow you home and kill you later, but some tricks can save you. You can say she looks average, not pretty or ugly, confusing her long enough to escape. Some kids throw hard candies called vengeful because she can't resist sweets and stops to pick them up, letting them run away. Saying pomade, hair ointment 3 times is another trick. Some say it scares her because it reminds her of the doctor who hurt her, so she runs away. Even though this story is very old, it became a huge scare in 1979. Newspapers in Gifu talked about sightings of a masked woman asking kids if she was pretty. Parents walked children home in groups. Police patrolled streets more, and stories spread everywhere. Some kids said they saw her near playgrounds or hiding behind trees. Rumors flew. Some thought she was a real woman who had survived a terrible attack and now haunted children. Or someone escaped from a hospital with a damaged face. Or maybe a sick person who put lipstick around her mouth to scare people. In Tokyo's Ginza district, some women working in clubs started wearing surgical masks and jokingly asked if they were beautiful, playing on the fear. One woman was even arrested for chasing kids with a knife while pretending to be Kuchisake-onna. These pranks only made things worse by mixing truth and myth, until it was hard to tell what was real. Stories of disfigured women have been told for hundreds of years. In the Edo period, young samurai sometimes saw a veiled lady turn her face, showing a bloody, wide smile. Some believed fox spirits, called kitsune, played tricks on people. There's also a story from the Meiji period about a woman named Otsuyu, who haunted her lover, hiding her face, and may have inspired the Kuchisake-onna legend. Today, the story of Kuchisake-onna is well known in Japan. She shows up in anime, movies, comics, and a lot of people dress up as her for Halloween. But even now, her story makes people scared. On quiet nights, parents warn their kids not to walk alone and to keep some hard candies in their pockets just in case. Kuchisake-onna is scary not only because of how she looks, but because her story is about beauty mixed with violence and fear. Her question, "Am I beautiful?" is a trap that forces us to think about how we judge people and the fears we carry. She is like the stranger you don't expect to meet in a quiet street, the face hiding behind a mask. After World War II, when Japan changed quickly and cities grew fast. Stories like hers gave people a way to express their worries and fear. So imagine this: the street shines under the night sky, and a woman in white steps out from the shadows. Her mask hides her face. She smiles, maybe, and asks simply, "Kuchisake-onna? How will you answer? Remember your candies and be careful." Even today in Japan, when the wind blows and the streets are empty, some kids walk faster, watching for the slit-mouthed woman who wants to know if she's still beautiful. Imagine walking alone at night through a quiet village in Malaysia or Indonesia. The moon is full and the air feels thick and strange. Suddenly, you hear the soft cries of a baby, or the faint smell of sweet yet rotten flowers floating in the air. Then, out of the shadows appears a pale woman in a blood-stained white dress, her long black hair hanging loose. She looks beautiful from a distance, but as you get closer, her face twists into a horrifying expression, her eyes glowing red with anger and sadness. This ghostly figure is known as the Pontianak, or Kuntilanak in Indonesia, a terrifying spirit that has haunted the dreams and stories of people across Southeast Asia for centuries. The Pontianak is believed to be the restless ghost of a woman who died during childbirth, or while pregnant, filled with sorrow and rage, because her life was cut short, and she carries pain that won't let her move on. According to the legend, she appears mostly at night, often near cemeteries, rivers, or lonely roads. The Pontianak's arrival is often announced by eerie sounds, the continuous crying of a baby, a woman's sinister laughter, or the sudden scent of decaying flowers like the frangipani blossom. One of the most dangerous parts of encountering the Pontianak is how she tricks people, especially men. From afar, she looks charming and harmless, even inviting. But when someone tries to get close, her true form reveals itself, sometimes revealing long, sharp claws or fangs ready to attack. In some stories, she sucks the blood of her victims or cuts them open from within. People say that if you meet her, staying calm and keeping your distance is the only way to survive. There are many variations of the story across Malaysia and Indonesia. For example, in Malaysia, the Pontianak is often seen as a bloodthirsty vampire spirit preying on men, while in Indonesia, the Kuntilanak also targets young women and virgins. Despite the differences, the legend always sends the same chilling message: beware the mysterious woman in white who appears at night. One real-life story from Malaysia tells of a group of men traveling near a quiet graveyard late at night. They spotted a woman with long black hair standing by the roadside. As they approached, she turned around, and her eyes glowed red like fire. Terrified, the men ran away, and the tale quickly spread, making people believe the Pontianak was real and still roaming the area. In Indonesia, a taxi driver once gave a late-night ride to a woman who asked to be dropped off near a burial ground. When they reached the destination, the woman vanished without a trace, leaving behind a strange scent and an uneasy feeling that stayed with the driver for days. The story of the Pontianak is deeply woven into the cultures of Malaysia and Indonesia, reflecting worries about death, motherhood, and loss, especially around childbirth, the time when many women were vulnerable. In the past, when hospitals and medicine were limited, tragic deaths during pregnancy were sadly common, and these painful events inspired tales of spirits who could not find peace. Even today, the Pontianak remains a powerful figure in popular culture. She stars in horror films, TV shows, and books, reminding people of old fears and modern ways. Sometimes, villagers still warn each other not to walk alone at night, or to listen carefully for the haunted cries near the woods. So picture this: it's a full moon, the night is silent, except for the sound of a baby crying softly nearby. You turn your head and see a woman in white, her hair covering her face, standing at the edge of the road. Her sorrow and rage hang in the air like a heavy mist. She looks at you with burning red eyes and a cold smile. This is the Pontianak, an immortal spirit of pain and vengeance, forever caught between life and death, reminding us of the tragedies of the past. and the power of stories passed down through generations. If you ever find yourself in Southeast Asia at night, walking near a cemetery or a quiet riverbank, and you hear the soft cries of a baby, or catch a strange, sweet smell, think carefully before you approach, because you might just be face to face with the Pontianak.
If you liked the video, don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this.